online science class. I'm here with you to discuss our third chemistry chapter, metals and nonmetals. At the end of today's class, you will learn about physical properties of metals and nonmetals and some chemical properties of metals. Let's move to our today's class. Okay. More than 118 elements have been discovered so far. And these 118 elements mainly classified into three categories: metal, nonmetals and metalloids. And at today's first point of discussion on the topic physical properties of metals and nonmetals. Now we are going to discuss about physical properties of metals and nonmetals. What are the physical properties of metals and nonmetals? The first physical property of the metal is metals are hard. Metals are hard. And what about nonmetals? Nonmetals are soft. Metals are hard. Generally, metals are hard and nonmetals are soft. And the second physical property is that metals are shiny or lustrous, metallic luster. What is metallic luster? Metallic luster means metals are shining. And what about nonmetals? Nonmetals are dull in appearance. Metals are shining or metals are lustrous. And the nonmetals are dull in appearance. And the third case, metals are malleable. Metals are malleable. What is this malleability? Malleability is the process in which metals can be beaten into thin sheets. Malleability is the process in which metals can be beaten into thin sheets. And the blacksmiths, see, blacksmiths are making tools by beating on the iron piece. So, which property of the iron is used? The malleability. And what about in case of nonmetals? Nonmetals are non-malleable. If we try to do that, they will break into pieces because nonmetals are not malleable or non-malleable. Metals are malleable or metals show malleability. Malleability is the process in which metals can be beaten into thin sheets, and on the other hand, nonmetals are non-malleable. If we try to do that, they will change into pieces. And the fourth one is metals are ductile or metals show ductility. What is the process? Ductility. Ductility is the process in which metals can be drawn into wires. Metals can be drawn into wires. That process of the metal is known as ductility. Metals can be drawn into wires. Copper wire. Copper wires are used in the electrical processes. You know, the connection wires or the electricity. For the transmission of the electricity, copper wires are used, right? So how this copper metal changed into wires? Because copper is a ductile or copper shows ductility because metals can be drawn into thin wires. Metal can be drawn into thin wires and non-metals are non-ductile. Non-metals are non-ductile. Okay, and the next one, metals are sonorous. Metals are sonorous. Are you missing the ringing sound of a school bell? So that property of the school bell is sonorous. Sonorous, right? Because that bell is made of iron. Iron is a metal. When the metal strike on the surface, it produces ringing sound. Ringing sound. So that property of the metal is known as sonority or sonorous. Metals are sonorous. Metals are sonorous. And non-metals are non-sonorous. Non-metals are non-sonorous. They are not making any sound when they strike somewhere. And the last physical property of the metals are good conductors of heat and electricity. Metals are good conductors of heat and electricity, and non-metals are bad conductors of heat and electricity. Non-metals are good conductors of electricity, and non-metals are bad conductors of heat and electricity. Non-metals are bad conductors of heat and electricity, and metals are good conductors of heat and electricity. And what are the physical properties of metals and non-metals? Metals are hard. Non-metals are soft. Metals are lustrous or metallic luster. Non-metals are dull. Metals show malleability, or metals are malleable. Non-metals are non-malleable. And metals are ductile. Non-metals are non-ductile. Metals are sonorous. Non-metals are non-sonorous. And metals are the good conductors of heat and electricity, and non-metals are bad conductors of heat and electricity. Now we are going to discuss about some exceptional cases in metals and non-metals. First one. Generally, metals are solid. Generally, metals are solid. But the metal mercury exists in liquid state. The metal mercury exists in liquid state. That is, mercury is a liquid metal. Generally, metals exist in solid state, but the metal mercury exists in liquid state, which means mercury is a liquid metal. And in case of non-metals generally exist in gaseous state, but the non-metal bromine exists in liquid state. That is, bromine is a liquid non-metal. Which is the liquid metal? Mercury. And which is the liquid non-metal? Bromine. Okay. And generally, metals have high melting and boiling points. But the metals like cesium and gallium have very low melting point. The metals like cesium and gallium shows very less melting point. If we keep these metals on our palm, they started to melt. Our body temperature is 37 degrees Celsius. This 37 degrees Celsius is enough for these two metals to melt because their melting point is very less. Okay. And non-metals are dull in appearance. Non-metals are dull in appearance, but the non-metal iodine is a lustrous, or iodine have shining appearance, or iodine is a lustrous. Metal, non-metal or iodine shows metallic luster. And non-metals are hard. Normally metals are hard, example iron, etc. Right? But the metals like sodium and potassium are soft. Which are the metals? Soft? Sodium and potassium. These sodium and potassium can be cut with knife. They are soft metals, right? So we can cut them with a knife. Metals are hard, but the metals like sodium and potassium are soft. We can cut them with a knife. Okay, now I am going to tell you very important process, allotropy. What is allotropy? Allotropy is the phenomenon in which compounds shows same chemical properties but their physical properties are different. So, allotropy is the phenomenon in which compounds shows same chemical properties and their physical properties are different. For example, when we consider a family as an example, the children in that family basically have same behavior. So that same behavior can be considered as the chemical properties, but their physical appearance, size, height and color, etc. may be different. So that is difference in the physical properties. So that process is allotropy. So allotropy is the phenomenon in which compounds have same chemical properties but their physical properties are different. Example, carbon. Carbon exists in 3 different forms. Which are the 3 forms of carbon? And you see, I told you allotropy is a phenomenon in which compounds shows same chemical properties but their physical properties are different. These compounds are known as allotropes. So what we can call for these compounds? Allotropes. In that way, allotropes of carbon are diamond, graphite and fullerene. Which are the 3 allotropes of carbon? Diamond, graphite and fullerene. 3 allotropes of carbon: diamond, graphite, fullerene. Why they are allotrope? Because they have same chemical properties. Their physical properties are different. Why they have same chemical properties? Because diamond, graphite, fullerene contains carbon as the main constant. Which is the main constant in these 3 compounds? Carbon. So when they taking part in the chemical reaction, when these compounds taking part in the chemical reaction, the carbon in these compounds reacting with oxygen. If a diamond react, if a graphite react, if a fullerene reacts, carbon in these 3 forms reacting with so and so. So we get the same product. That means they have same chemical properties. They may be different forms, but the constant or the component in these 3 compounds are different, so they gives same properties. That's why allotropes shows same chemical properties. When diamond, graphite, fullerene react with something, carbon in these 3 compounds react. So when carbon react, we get only one product. That means allotropes have same chemical properties, but their arrangement or may be different. You see, diamond is, bright. Graphite means penciled, dull in appearance. So their physical properties are different, but they show same chemical properties. Why I used this term here, here also you can discuss the exception. How we can discuss exception in this case? For example, diamond. Right. Non-metals are soft and dull. Non-metals are generally soft and dull. But diamond, which contain carbon as a non-metal, is bright and also it is the hardest substance known to us. Diamond is the hardest substance and it's a bright substance. So, exception. Non-metals are, diamond is an example of non-metal. Why? Carbon is there, right? Diamond is another form of carbon. Carbon is a non-metal and non-metals are dull and soft. But diamond being the non-metal, diamond is a bright and hard. Okay. And second case, graphite. Okay. Non-metals are bad conductors of heat and electricity, but graphite is a good conductor of heat and electricity. So that's all about the exceptional cases of metals and non-metals. Mercury is a liquid metal, bromine is a liquid non-metal, and gallium cesium have very low melting point. Iron is a lustrous non-metal, and the sodium and potassium can be cut with knife. Carbon exists in 3 forms: diamond, graphite and fullerenes. And these allotropes have same chemical properties. They have different physical properties. And the third allotrope, fullerene, introduced by Buckminster Fullerene, and this fullerene contains 60 carbon atoms, 60 carbon atoms in the form of a ring. Yes. Now we are going to discuss about the very important point of this chapter, chemical properties of metals and non-metals. And in this video, we are discussing only the first chemical property of the metal. What happens when metal is burned in air? What happens when a metal is burned in air? Or the reaction between a metal and oxygen. The reaction between a metal and oxygen. If a metal reacts with oxygen, they forms metal oxide. When a metal reacts with oxygen to form metal oxide. See, when a metal reacts with oxygen to form metal oxide. For example, copper react with oxygen to form copper oxide, and aluminium react with oxygen to form aluminium oxide. So what happens when metal react with oxygen? When a metal react with oxygen, they form metal oxide. So what is the product? When a metal react with oxygen, we get the product named metal oxide when the metal react with the oxygen. So simple. When a metal react with oxygen, we get metal oxide. React with oxygen means what? That react with oxygen means burning. Indirectly it is burning. So when a metal burns, we get their oxide. So burning of a metal or burning of any substance gives their oxide. Correct. Burning of any substance gives their oxide. When a metal burns in oxygen or when a metal burns in air means metal react with oxygen to form metal oxide. Like copper react with oxygen to form copper oxide, aluminium react with oxygen to form aluminium oxide, sodium react with oxygen to form sodium oxide, etc. So the metal react with oxygen to form metal oxide. When a metal react with oxygen to form metal oxide, there are some metal oxide reacts both with acids and bases. There are some metal oxides react with acids and bases. Such oxides are known as amphoteric oxides. What are amphoteric oxides? The oxides which shows reaction towards acid and base are amphoteric oxides. So amphoteric oxides are the oxides shows reaction towards acid and base. Such oxides are known as amphoteric oxides. See, frog, amphibian, no? Why it is amphibian? Because frog can live in water and land. So both. So that is ampho. So amphoteric. These oxides react with acid and base. So they are amphoteric oxides. Examples: aluminium oxide, zinc oxides are amphoteric oxide. See, aluminium oxide react with hydrochloric acid to form aluminium chloride and water. And same aluminium oxide react with the sodium hydroxide to form sodium aluminate. This is sodium aluminate and water. So same sodium oxide react with the hydrochloric acid and sodium hydroxide to form salt and water. Okay. So amphoteric oxides are the oxides shows reaction towards acid and base. Such oxides are known as amphoteric oxides. Examples of amphoteric oxides are aluminium oxide and zinc oxide. This aluminium oxide and zinc oxide react with acid and base to form salt and water. Most of the metal oxides are insoluble in water. Some metal oxides are soluble in water to form alkalis. So what are alkalis? Alkalis are the metal oxides dissolved in water. Alkalis are the metal oxides dissolved in water. Some metal oxides dissolve in water to form alkalis. What are alkalis? Some metal oxides dissolve in water to form alkalis. So metal oxide dissolve in water to form alkalis. Most of the metal oxides are insoluble in water, but some metal oxides are there. These metal oxides dissolve in water to form their alkalis. Like sodium oxide react with water to form sodium hydroxide. So sodium hydroxide is a alkali. Potassium hydroxide react with water to form potassium hydroxide. Potassium hydroxide is a alkali. So most of the metal oxides are insoluble in water. Some metal oxides are soluble in water. They mixes with the water to form corresponding alkalis like sodium hydroxide and potassium hydroxide. Most of the metal oxides are insoluble in water. Some metal oxides are soluble in water to form alkalis. So what are alkalis? Alkalis are the metal oxides dissolved in water. Alkalis are the metal oxides dissolved in water. Some metal oxides dissolve in water to form alkalis. What are alkalis? Some metal oxides dissolve in water to form alkalis. So metal oxide dissolve in water to form alkalis. Most of the metal oxides are insoluble in water, but some metal oxides are there. These metal oxides dissolve in water to form their alkalis. Like sodium oxide react with water to form sodium hydroxide. So sodium hydroxide is a alkali. Potassium hydroxide react with water to form potassium hydroxide. Potassium hydroxide is a alkali. So most of the metal oxides are insoluble in water. Some metal oxides are soluble in water. They mixes with the water to form corresponding alkalis like sodium hydroxide and potassium hydroxide. All the metals do not show same reactivity towards oxygen, which means all the metals do not react with oxygen at the same rate. Different metals react, or different metal shows different reactivity towards oxygen. Metals like sodium and potassium vigorously react with oxygen. Metals like sodium and potassium vigorously react with oxygen. In order to avoid the accidental fires, we have to store these metals in kerosene. Why sodium and potassium stored in kerosene? Because sodium and potassium shows vigorous reaction towards oxygen and water. In order to avoid the contact between these metals and air oxygen, we can store these metals inside the kerosene. Which means sodium and potassium highly reactive metals, and these metals show vigorous reaction towards oxygen. Okay, and metals like magnesium, aluminium, zinc, lead react with the oxygen of air at the ordinary temperature and forms protective oxide layer. This oxide layer prevent the metals from further oxidation. Prevent the metal from further oxidation means what? What is oxidation? Oxidation is a process in which metal react with the oxygen. So in this module, we are discussing about the reaction between metal and oxygen. Right. So magnesium, aluminium, lead, zinc react with the oxygen of the air at ordinary temperature to form protective layer of oxide, and this protective layer prevent the metal from the further oxidation, which means these metals shows less reaction towards oxygen. These metals are less reactive in oxygen. The metals like magnesium, aluminium, zinc, lead shows less reactivity towards oxygen because their surface is already covered with a protective oxide layer, and this protective oxide layer prevent them from further oxidation. So in that way, these metals show less reactivity than sodium and potassium. Okay. And the copper
Iron
does not burn in oxygen. Does not burn in oxygen. Which means copper
iron
does not burn in oxygen. You may see that, the blacksmith. How the blacksmith making the tools? Blacksmith making the tools by showing the iron metal in the hot flame. Right. So when they show the iron piece in the hot flame, the iron piece become red hot. Did you see when the copper or the iron piece burns? Did you see that? No, because iron does not burn. Iron does not burn, and iron powder or iron flakes, when we sprinkle on the flame, it suddenly melts. So which indicates the reactivity of iron towards oxygen is least. So what we are discussing in these sections? We are discussing about the reactivity of different metals. Sodium, potassium, very fast reaction. Magnesium, aluminium, zinc, lead, comparing with the sodium, their reactivity is less. And when we discuss about the iron's reactivity is less than the magnesium, zinc and lead. And when we sprinkle the iron powder on the flame, so it's a powdered form and it's very thin, so it suddenly melts. Okay, and in case of copper does not burn, but copper reacts with oxygen to form copper oxide. You may see that black deposit under the utensils. We have discussed in our previous class. Black deposit is copper oxide. So it is not a burning. So that's a reaction. Copper reacts with oxygen to form copper oxide. And in case of gold, silver, etc., they are not at all showing any reaction towards oxygen. You know, your parents or especially your mothers are, you know, preparing food in the kitchen, etc., and they are wearing the ornaments. These ornaments made of gold, silver, etc. Is it anything happened to that ornaments? Not, no. Why? Because gold, silver, etc., least reactive metals, they are not showing any reaction towards oxygen. Okay, so different metals show different reactivity towards oxygen. Sodium, potassium shows vigorous reaction towards oxygen. So we have to keep these metals in water. And magnesium, aluminium, lead, etc. forms protective layer by reacting with the oxygen of the air at ordinary temperature, and this layer protect them from further oxidation. That means their reactivity is less than the sodium and potassium. And in case of iron, iron does not burn in oxygen. Iron become red hot. It does not burn, right? So because the reactivity of iron is less than that of magnesium, zinc, aluminium, etc. And iron powder, when we sprinkle the iron on it, it melts fast. Okay, fastly. Then copper also does not form, but copper react with oxygen to form copper oxide. That is the black deposit under the copper oxide. And silver, gold, etc. do not show any reaction towards oxygen. Okay, so these are the points under the heading reaction of metal with oxygen. What are the points we discussed under this heading? When a metal react with oxygen to form metal oxide, and there are some metal oxides both react with acid and base. Such oxides are known as amphoteric oxide. Examples: aluminium oxide and zinc oxide. Most of the metal oxides are insoluble in water, but some metal oxides are soluble in water. They are the metal oxides soluble in water to form alkalis. Example: sodium oxide, potassium oxide. When they mixes with the water to form sodium hydroxide and potassium hydroxide. Okay, that's all about today's class. Watch the video carefully. Understand the concepts. We will meet you again with another video. Thank you for watching. Have a wonderful day ahead.